Hey there, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're watching this from. And this is just gonna be a small talk on taking a break. Now, at times, it's best to, as I say in my previous videos, a lot, take a step back and contemplate. But it's not mostly, it's not mostly just contemplating for the sake of contemplating. It's contemplating for a bigger thing. It's contemplating on your life choices, it's contemplating on the decisions you've made back then, it's contemplating on the mistakes you've done and the the things you failed to do or the shortcomings you've encountered or done in any aspect, be it careers, relationships, paths in life that you have chosen. And it's really worth looking back at it, not from a negative perspective or not from a negative standpoint, but from a way in which you can learn from. Because I feel like most of us are so caught up in whatever's going on, and so caught up in what has happened and what happened before and what is happening now, what will happen in the future, and so on. More so the future and the past. You know, I find myself honestly indulging in that experience a lot. Looking back at past mistakes, you know, seeing how it led to where I am now, the position I am in now, and how will it affect or how will this go forward in the future? Will it still be the same? Will it get worse? Or, or will it be with that slightly glim, with that slightly thin chance of it being better in the future? That's something that you need to really, you need to really, do get in order for you to know and get to where you want to be, because there are times and sometimes there are moments or opportunities that will never come to us. There are moments and opportunities that may never go by your way. There's there are a multitude of scenarios and aspects and factors that go into actually you know achieving whatever you want to achieve. Sometimes you may put in all the work yourself. Sometimes you may be be all that you could be in order to achieve that, or better yourself to the point of you feel like you can forgive yourself for the past mistakes and still never achieve what you're trying to achieve. And sometimes I don't want to say this, as a way of to degrade or demotivate anybody who is trying to do it or who has put in the hours or put in the effort and time to uh, go for go forth working towards something that they deem is meaningful, that they deem is worthy of their attention and their time, and that will solidify their existence in this world. That's something I would never go against, and it's something I would never discourage, because it's a noble pursuit. It's honorable to say the least. You know, but there are times where you have to really think as well, is that sometimes you're not gonna get there, uh, whether it be now, whether it be a few years down the line, whether it be a decade down the line, or maybe forever. you know Sometimes you're not gonna be able to get there, and how do you cope with that? How do you cope with the possibility of putting in the hours, putting in the work, doing your best, your absolute best, grinding every day, taking minimal to no rest, you know, uh, every day of the week, every hour, every minute, every second, you know, not allowing yourself to just breathe and keep going forward 100 miles an hour or 1,000 miles an hour. How do you cope with putting in all of that effort and having it not work out in the end as the end result? And I feel like, that's where acceptance is to come to play. I mean, I've contemplated that recently, just a couple of days ago, and this thought particularly came to my head like a week ago or a month ago as well, and I've been just pondering about this, like, what if I don't actually achieve whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve? What if all of my efforts that I'm putting in right now will basically become meaningless in the end? What if, it doesn't work out and I just spend all of that time and all of that effort for nothing? And I feel like it's okay. It's the thought that came to my head was just the thought that's always been there whenever these questions arise or whenever these questions take to the surface of my mind. And I don't know if it'll resonate with you, but I guess it's worth putting out there is that, you know, at least I tried, but not in the sense that, it failed. Oh, well, nothing's gonna come out of it, but it's okay. Just life goes on and all that. That is a given. But what I'm trying to say is that, at least you tried this one. It could, like I mentioned in the previous talks as well, your presence or your actions are being noticed by everybody. So, and you know, it could really, as I mentioned in the previous talk, it could really inspire somebody to be who they want to be, and it could inspire somebody to take those opportunities that they have to achieve what they have, instead of being scared and having all these doubts when they see you, giving it your all, but not quite making it because of the lack of opportunities, lack of resources, lack of a lot of external factors. But uh, that thing is that uh, what I what I want to go back to in this talk, once again relating to this topic, is that it gives you a time you need to really think. Once this is done, once your pursuit of whatever you're pursuing is done, what's next? What if it doesn't work out, and you're still breathing, you're still alive, you're not at that old age when you're frail and fragile, and you're about to move on to the afterlife. What then? What are you going to be doing then? Are you gonna just are you gonna be an empty shell? That's what I always also say to myself sometimes. It's like, what then? If all of these pursuits are not gonna work out, what then? Are you gonna just be an empty shell of yourself, working at a dead end job, or shifting from dead end job to dead end job, just trying to get by uh, for the rest of your life until you retire, and then you look back and be like, oh, shoot, I wasted my life. You know, it's it's really something to think about, because we have these pursuits that we're passionate about, and I'm pretty sure that all of us who are really passionate about a certain thing are going to keep carrying it forward, or are going to keep doing it moving forward, even though the grander plan for it failed, because that's just now part of our lives, and that is just part of who we are, which is good in a sense. Of course, it's good in terms of your growth. It's good in terms of your mind, to keep things clear, to give you the outlet whenever you feel overwhelmed and so on. But you gotta start thinking, like, what's next after this? What's next? And that's what I feel like. It's not in the form of what career you want to take next, what direction of life you want to go next. Of course, that's a given, where you have to think that as you grow older. Uh, but what I'm really thinking, what I'm really trying to say is that, what is next? Because, like, if you put all of your heart and soul and mind into that that passion, sorry, that thing, if it doesn't work out, you're just gonna be an empty shell. And that's what, in my point of view, I would suggest you keep a healthy balance between the craft that you're doing and your relationships with people, your relationship with God, your relationships with, you know, yourself, your routines, just trying to be a better person and trying to actually live, live, have conversations with people, make time for that, connect. Because at the end of the day, whatever you're pursuing is gonna come to an end some way, somehow. To the not to, in the form of you're gonna give it up completely, but you're gonna give up the pursuit of that eventually. You know, uh, or it's gonna dial down, or slow down for a bit because nothing's really going on. But giving time to those relationships, giving time to those friends and families that you have fostered bonds with, close bonds with, and connections is important because when you lose it all, like when you lose your drive, when you lose your motivation, when you lose everything that you've been working towards, the only thing that's going to remain are those things, the little things of living life, waking up, doing chores, uh, going to the job, just earn money, going back to your family, to your friends, to the people you speak with online, just to connect with them, just to have conversations about your day, and, check on how each other is feeling, check on how each other is going in terms of their mentality, their emotional health, their physicality, their spirituality, and so on. It's when it comes down to that, that's what I'm also thinking lately is that you're gonna be amidst or surrounded by that, not anymore, the drive, the pursuit to constantly keep going and going and going and going. No, for the thing that for the goal that you have, because eventually that goal is going to change. It's just like, uh, it's just like, if you have a day-to-day job, like you're going to work for a certain amount of years. When you've saved up enough, when you, feel like you've worked enough or reached the retirement age, you're going to retire. You're going to stop working altogether and you're just going to enjoy experiences that you've had that you did have before, but in an abundance. Given the degree of how much you've saved and how much money you have in the bank, that's going to determine how grand you are going to go with your experiences or so on. Or if if you haven't saved up a lot, or if you just feel like it's enough, like enough working, you're going to be spending time with your family, your friends, trying to connect with them, see what's up, see what they're doing, see what they've been up to, how are they doing as a person emotionally, are they okay, and so on. Because like it all goes back to some of the regrets that uh, one father said in church when he was giving like this sermon or this session of his talk, and he was saying that one of the five most regrets is that I wish I didn't work hard. I wish I spent more time with my loved ones. Uh, now there are other regrets, like some of it were pertaining to I wish I would have let myself be happier. I wish I would have, said the things I wanted to say, do the things I wanted to do. But I wanted to touch on the part where he said, I wish I would have let myself be happier, and I wish I would have spent more time with my loved ones because that's what you're gonna be reflecting on when you're at the end of the road, whether that be in retirement or in that old age when your life, you know, comes to its conclusion. Because you're gonna be reflecting on the past moments, and if it is anything like we see in the movies, you're gonna have these flashbacks of very important moments in your life, and you're gonna be thinking like you wanted to have more of that. And I want you to just know that it's not too late, of course. You know, you may be thinking like, I've spent all this time, I've spent all these years, you know, working towards something and it failed, and you know, now I've wasted all of that time. But it's not too late. You know, you could still let yourself be happier, allow yourself to be happier, because most of the time, even I jump into these or fall into these, you know, pits of thoughts saying, I'll be happy when this happens, I'll be happy when this happens, I'll be happy when this happens. And then, in the words of a wise man, you keep saying that and it never happens. So you're never going to allow yourself to be happy in that case. You know, happiness just is like love, and other emotions are unconditional, uh, should be unconditional in terms of love and happiness. Sorrow, anger, frustration, regret are conditional because they happen and they foster in your mind and in your heart due to circumstances and uh, and situations. The same way with happiness and joy, but uh, and love as well. But I feel like those things should be a given. You know, it's a choice. You have to. It's a choice you have to make. You know, you if you want to be happier, you have to allow yourself to be happier. Because if you're not allowing yourself to feel that love, that happiness, that people around you, no matter how grand or how small the number of people, if you don't allow yourself to feel that, then despite them giving their best efforts to show you that you are loved, that you are appreciated, despite everything that happened, it's never gonna resonate with you. So yeah, it's just a small talk to get some stuff off my chest lately. I hope you guys resonated with that. I hope you guys took away something from it, and yeah, hope you have a great day.